With everything that has been happening this year, and especially this week as a new president gets sworn in, I have been wondering if we can disagree without demonizing the other side. It's been a really interesting year, and this is a legitimate question, I think, for a lot of people. Because as many of us realize, in order to heal our country, we're going to need to stop hating. And we aren't going to change everyone's minds, so we're going to need to learn how to disagree with understanding and love. In this video today, I'm going to explore that question, and I'm going to give you my perspective as a citizen of the United States, a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and as a certified life coach. Let me just start by saying that it makes a lot of sense that we are as divided as we are right now. Psychologically, we have a lot of things fueling the division in our country. There are a number of great books and documentaries about this. I recommend that you go find some and learn more about what's going on. But we have so many dividers, things like social media and traditions or cultural norms. Our brains also have a need for connection and acceptance and a tendency toward groupthink. Not to mention our brain's desire to always be right and confirmation bias, and even our brain's default setting of looking for what's wrong in the world in order to help us survive. Now, all of this feeds into the division that we are currently feeling in our country. So if you have felt some of that us versus them mentality, then be kind to yourself. It makes sense that this has happened with our current environment. But I also want you to remind yourself that it doesn't have to be this way. We can disagree without demonizing. You can feel love for the people that you disagree with. In fact, Christ has commanded us to. So one thing that really has helped me is to see everyone on earth as a child of God. No matter what a person believes, they are still my brother or sister. We are all on the same team. There's no us versus them. We are on the same team. So try listening to someone that you disagree with. Be open and self-reflective and curious. We all think that we have the moral high ground. We have good moral reasons for believing what we believe. We are so much more alike than we are different. Almost every person in our country wants this to be a safe place to live. They want opportunities for themselves and for their children. We all want to help others and make this world a better place. We just disagree on how to do it, but that doesn't mean that we aren't still on the same team. We can be more understanding of those we disagree with. Sometimes others just don't see what they don't see. And it doesn't necessarily make them evil. In fact, it just makes them human. We don't see what we don't see either. We don't know what we don't know. And again, just because one person wants to run a different play on the field based on their own experience and viewpoint than what I want to run, it doesn't mean that we don't have the same goal. And it doesn't mean that we can't come together. We are on the same team with the same goals. Something else that really helps me is recognizing that agreement and love are two separate things. We can disagree with someone and still love them. And loving them doesn't mean that we have to agree. Just like on sports teams, we're not all going to agree on the best way to approach the game. So we may want to do things differently. Like, hey, I may want you to pass me the ball, and I think that's the best way to approach the situation, but I love you even if you don't. You can even listen to another person and totally understand where they are coming from and still disagree with them. I can see why you would want to use that play or run the ball, but based on my vantage point, I still think that this play is better. So loving and agreeing are two different things. Loving someone who believes or even takes actions that you disagree with doesn't mean you are complicit in those actions. It doesn't make you a traitor to your own beliefs. It just means that you recognize that we are each different. We have different experiences and views, different positions on the field, right? And that was always how God intended us to be. It's so funny to me how Sometimes we as members of the church who believe so fiercely in agency, in fact, we believe we fought a war in heaven for that agency, but at the same time we come to earth and we just want everyone to do things the way that we want them to do them. We want them to do them our way. So funny. So I have to remind myself at times that we chose agency. We fought for all our differences, and our differences can be good. Things don't work if we are all the quarterback. We can learn from each other and our differences. So we can love someone and disagree with them, and we can even take actions that they might not like or may not want. In a huddle, for example, we may tell the other players that we don't like the play that someone else suggested. We could try and convince them why we think we should run the play that we want to run. Maybe even explain that from our view on our side of the field, it makes more sense and we can see something that the others didn't see. We can do all of that from a place of love. Through all of this, we can love the other people on our team. We can choose to see the good in them and remember that we are all doing the best we can to get to the same goal. Again, it doesn't mean that we can't express ourselves when it comes to our differences. In fact, how else are we going to learn? But we can do it from a place of love. And we can do it knowing that some people won't ever agree with us. But if we are coming from a place of self-reflection and love, we are all more likely to be elevated. That is when true change can happen. So, try it out. Let's do some more listening, some more loving. Let's disregard anything that tells us to be less than Christ-like to the people on our team. Let's drop the anger and defensiveness. Let's be open and self-reflective about our own beliefs and consciously choose love. And then let's do some healing. We have totally got this.